Hello, everyone. Dean Rafe here on FoER, the Forum on Economic Rights. Today, we will be discussing our Economic Bill of Rights, Article 3, the right to a free economy. And this is how I have written it. Every individual has the right to not live in a managed economy. Every individual has the right to participate in an economy free from the meddling of a rich or ruling class. No central banks nor business conglomerates may manipulate markets for their or anyone else's benefit. Neither shall the government be involved in manipulating markets, whether to serve the power structure, their party, their personal interests, or even to serve the people. I do believe that the road to hell is paved with good intentions, right? So how many government programs have been put into place as a temporary program to serve the people, and then it becomes a permanent government policy? So I don't think I need to explain that any further. But moving on, the Federal Reserve, currently our biggest offender on this issue, they have a dual mandate given to them by Congress. What a joke. Jobs, meaning unemployment, and inflation. So they are manipulating the short-term interest rates in a hope that they're affecting the unemployment of the nation as well as inflation. So the idea is if they lower interest rates, basically they're controlling the price of money. They do that by raising and lowering the short-term interest rates, the overnight rate. So they believe that when they lower the rates, it makes money easier and that creates more jobs. If you have too many jobs and unemployment is high, then that drives inflation. So then when they want to cool inflation, they start raising the interest rates to cool the economy. So currently, we had a high level of inflation for many different reasons. I correct that. I don't believe it was for many different reasons because I like to follow the definition of inflation that is the classical definition, that it's a monetary phenomena and that inflation is caused by an increase in the money supply. That's not to confuse price growth or price rising with inflation. That's a different thing, although some economists lump it all together and talk about demand pull and cost push inflation and all these different definitions of inflation. I find those schools of economics to be less articulate and confusing. Sometimes I wonder if they purposely make it confusing so that the masses may not understand fully what they're talking about. Regardless, we had a whole bunch of inflation. I do believe that it was due to the increase in the monetary supply. Any other incidental price increases due to supply chain malfunctions and tariff and creation, those are just reasons why prices went up. Those were not actual inflation, in my opinion. Anyways, the Federal Reserve tries to manipulate the markets. They're perhaps the most socialist aspect of our economy to date, in my opinion. I don't believe that the Federal Reserve represents free markets. I don't believe it represents capitalism. It makes me laugh when everybody disparages capitalism. I don't think we've had capitalism for a long time. We have been very socialist, maybe ever since FDR and the creation of this latest central bank. I do believe that this central bank in our current system, it's a version of capitalism, corporatism, communism. It's the Federal Reserve is an organized syndicate or a banking cartel. I think it's ridiculous. We have one organization of unelected chair people that are making some of the biggest market decisions for the entire planet. This affects our economy is the biggest. Well, maybe not the biggest, has China surpassed us, but we're one of the most influential economies of the world, if not the most influential. And the Federal Reserve stepping in and manipulating our borrowing rates affects markets all over the world. So one organization of these people making these decisions is just ridiculous. So that's how I feel about it. I'm curious about how you feel about it. Also, in addition, if we ever became wise to the situation and said, you know what, maybe we can do without a Federal Reserve, what would we then do? This deserves some research on my own part, but maybe some of you already have researched this topic. What would happen if other countries keep their central banks and they're manipulating their currencies while we stop manipulating our currency? Curious about what historical precedents we have on knowing how those interactions would go. Anyways, this one's a little more juicy, I feel like, than maybe the last one. Maybe I'm wrong. But yeah, give me your comments, your thoughts, please discuss on the chat, and I will see you in the next one. All right, bye.